Dear students, now we are going to discuss about super keyword in Java. Super keyword is used in inheritance in three way in inheritance. One is accessing base class instance variable. Next one is accessing base class method. Third one is accessing base class constructors. These are all the key way the super keyword is used. One is accessing the base class instance variable. Okay, we know that. So inheritance is a property of deriving new classes from an existing classes. That is, the existing class have some property, so that should be taken by inheriting classes. So this main purpose of inheritance is reusability concept and also easily maintaining the code. Okay, so there are different type of inheritance we discussed in the previous class. Okay, single inheritance, class hierarchy, multi-level inheritance, interface, hybrid inheritance. Okay, now we discuss about super keyword used in the inheritance. Okay, so there are classes, basically we call it as base class and also derived class. Okay, base class having some property, so from which some other classes are created by extending the base class, so that the derived class having base class property as well as the its own property. Okay, so how will you access the base class property to the subclass using super keyword? The super keyword is going to access its a subclass having a keyword super means it's going to access the its immediate superclass, not to the superclass of some other class. Okay, it's not possible. So it's going to access the immediate superclass, immediate base class of the deriving class. Okay, so now we go for an example. So how it is? So I'm going to discuss one example, student example, as like as previous class student. So I have two classes now. One is student class, which having roll number and name, and another one class is a mark class, which is going to derive from the student class. Okay, int roll number. Okay, then string name. Okay, so there are two instance variable. Okay, then I have a method void get data, which is going to getting the value from the keyboard. I'm going to get the value from keyboard, so that here I'm going to use util class, a scanner class in the util package. So I'm going to take a particular class object by using fully qualified name java dot util dot scanner scanner scan equal to new java dot util dot scanner bracket. I'm going to get the value from the keyboard, so that I'm going to use system dot in. Okay, yes, so I'm going to create an object now. So by using scan object, I'm going to get the roll number from the keyboard. Roll number, okay, equal to next, sorry, scan scan dot next is an int, so that I'm going to use ENT method, which is our next ENT method, which is available in the scanner class. So before getting this value, I am going to give a prompt message. So what type of input I am going to get, so that I am going to print, I am going to give a prompt message for getting the input system dot out dot println double quotes, enter the student name, roll number and name. I'm going to give a prompt message for our readability. Okay, yes. Next, the next I'm going to get the name. Name equal to CAN dot next, because I have a string value, so that this is enough for getting the string value. Then next I'm going to display the content. Void display data. Okay, it's a camel case, isn't it? In Java methodology. So what they are giving, the method should be in a camel case. Method should be in a camel case. Okay, yes. And display data. I'm going to display the content. What I am getting from the keyboard, I am going to display it. System dot out dot println open bracket double quotes name equal to namespace equal to closing the double quotes plus name, then plus give some space so that I can put some null value, then plus roll number double quotes, roll number equal to double quotes plus roll number RO. Okay, close the bracket. Here I'm going to display the roll number and name. Okay, then I'm going to finish this class. So how will you create a subclass? By using a keyword extend. Yeah? Yes, student class mark. Okay, extends is a keyword which is used to getting the base class property to the student, to the subclass. Okay, the student class. Here I'm going to get the mark. Okay, so I have an instance variable int mark 1 first subject mark 1, comma I'm going to choose only 2 marks for our demonstration purpose, int mark 1 and mark 2. So I'm going to get the value from the keyboard, void get mark. Get mark. I'm going to get the 2 mark from the keyboard, so that I'm going to use the scanner method to get the data. Okay, yes, I'm going to use this one. Okay, let's see. And okay, yes, I'm going to getting the value from the keyboard. Mark 1 MARK mark 1 equal to SCAN 1 dot next INT. I am going to get the input from the keyboard, and also I am going to use another one mark 2 going to get from the keyboard. So as like as previous one, I am going to give a prompt message. I am going to give a, for that I am going to just copy the content from the previous code, enter the 2 mark of the students, 2 marks a student. Okay. Close the semicolon. Okay. Yes. So I'm going to get the mark. So I'm going to this one. Okay. The same way I'm going to display the mark. Okay. Void. So I'm missing one thing. So I'm not getting the base class value. So after completing this code, I will explain you. Okay. Disp, sorry, DISP disp mark disk mark. Okay. Open bracket, close bracket, enter, open the curly braces. Here I am going to display the mark. Okay. So just I am going to copy the code. Just I am going to copy the one, make changes. Okay. Mark one. Okay. Mark one equal to mark one equal to mark one. Mark two equal to I'm going to display the so this is a regular coding. Okay, we are writing this one. Okay, but I'm going to get the this base class value. I'm going to get the base class value. In this example, I'm going to demonstrate accessing the base class method. Accessing the base class method in the derived subclass. So how I'm going to access means, so I'm going to put a super keyword here along with the function name. Okay, so where is this? This is get data method. Sorry. So I'm going to use this get data method. I'm going to use this get data method to the function to this deriving class. So that I'm going to put here. I'm going to put here along with the super keyword dot get data. So what is this? It is going to get the super class value here. So super is a keyword which is membership with get data member, get data function member. So the dot is a membership operator is going to get the value of base class. Super dot get data means, so here this base class method is called here. The base class method is called in the subclass. It's like as this one. I'm going to get the display method super dot ASP disp data. Okay, so here I put super get data and super display data in the beginning of the method. It is compulsory. You have to put super keyword before starting of the function definition. If you're going to use base class method or base class constructor, or you're going to access the base class instance variable, you have to put subclass function definition in the first line. In the first line, this is most important. You have to put in the first line. Okay. Yes. So I think the code is completed now. So you have to write the public void main method. Okay. So class student is having two instance variable, and also I'm going to get the two instance variable, and also I'm going to display the two instance variable again. Then I'm going to create a new class mark, which is going to extends from student class. It's going to extends from the student class. Okay. In it mark one, mark two. I'm having a method get mark. Okay, which is going to access the superclass method. It's going to access the superclass method by means of super keyword. It's going to access the base class method by means of super keyword. So I'm going to get the value from the keyboard for its own class. So this is going to get the basic property. So this is the own property of the class, own property of the derived class. Okay, so derived class having base class property as well as the its own class property. So here I'm going to call super.getData. This is the base class property. So I'm not going to write the code again. So already the getData function is there. I'm going to use it. That is called as reusability. Okay, yes, it is easy to maintain in the code also. Then mark one, scan next. So this is the own class property of the derived class. Okay, the same way here I'm going to use void display void disp mark. So it is going to display the mark along with the student data. What is the student data? Roll number and name. Okay, yes. So okay, yes. Okay. The next we are going to write the main method So that is under a class stu mark. What is my stu mark? This is my class name, public static void main string arguments. Public static void main string args open bracket close bracket. Okay, public static void main string argument. So I am going to use base class. I'm going to use base class for getting the data. Mark s1, okay, equal to new mark open bracket close bracket semicolon s1 dot s1 dot get your mark open bracket close bracket semicolon enter s1 dot disp mark. Is it correct? So there are two methods which is available in the subclass. Okay, I'm going to close the main method, public main method, and also I'm going to close the subclass. So I think we complete all those things now. Okay, disp mark. Okay, I'm going to call this. So here there is an object s1. Okay, which is object of subclass. Okay, subclass s1 dot get mark means it's going to call the uh, uh, subclass function. What is this? What is this? So this function get mark. So when the definition is called, which is going to execute super dot get data initially. After it's going to execute this code. Okay, yes. The same way s1 dot disp mark is going to call by this calling function, which is going to calling this function definition. Okay, so first line of the code is super dot disp data, which is going to access the disp data function in the superclass. This is an immediate superclass. So the super keyword is going to access the instance variable or a method or a constructor in the immediate superclass, and not in the superclass of some other class. Okay, it is not possible. Super to super is not possible. Okay, yes. So now I'm going to copy this code and I wish to run the code to get we see the output. Okay, yes, how it is going to access. Okay. So I'm going to use a compiler, online compiler. So now I'm going to share the online compiler to you. Let's wait a minute. The compiler is opening. Okay, yes, this is an online compiler. So you have to clear some errors if there is here. Okay, so here this is not possible for the student one. I'm going to change main. Okay, in this online GDB compiler, the main method having a class, that class name must be main. Okay, yes, I'm going to run this code. So it is, if there is any error means it will come, otherwise. So roll number, student roll number 101, then name is Arun. Okay. So where it is called? So what I'm saying, so this is going to access the base class. So not the name and roll number and the name. These two. This is the prompt message. Which is written in the base class method get data. Okay. Here I'm going to put the name through scanner object. I'm going to give the value through the keyboard. After that, enter the 2 marks. So I'm going to enter the marks 78 and 79. Okay, I'm going to enter 2 marks. After that, it's going to print it. So name equal to Arun, roll number equal to 101, mark 1 equal to 78, mark 2 equal to 79. So how it is going to display? By means of calling base class member using super dot disp data. So by means of this only, this line only we can get this value. Okay, by means of this line we can get the mark. So what it is? So base class methods are accessed by super keyword of immediate subclass. Immediate subclass. Okay. Yes. So this is a way of using what super keyword. Okay. Are you able to understand? Next, we uh, move to the constructor. Okay. Next, move to the super. How will you access the super class constructor? So I'm going to change some slight changes in the previous code and demonstrate to you. Okay, so I'm not writing the full code, but I'm going to slight modification in the existing code. After that, I'm going to show the result to you. Okay, yes. So I'm going to use the same notepad, same file, same file. So I'm going to modify. I'm going to modify the code. So I'm going to modifying the code. So where I'm going to modify here, I'm going to use a constructor. Instead of get data, I'm going to give an empty argument constructor. I'm going to give an empty argument constructor to access the base class subclass constructor. Here I'm going to create a constructor student student. For demonstration, I'm going to do this one. Okay, student. So student is a constructor. What is constructor? Constructor is a special member function which is used to automatically initializing the object when an object is created, isn't it? So what is constructor? Constructor is a special member function. It is like a method. Okay, it is used to initializing the object when the object is created. It is done in automatically. The constructor name is yes that of the class name. The constructor is not having any return type including void. So I'm going to put in the constructor. Okay. Then what I'm going to change in this class. So I'm going to change get mark. Instead of get mark, I'm going to give mark constructor. The constructor name is mark constructor. Here I'm going to use. I'm going to access the base class constructor by using super keyword. Basically, this is not needed. Basically, this empty argument constructor is not needed. It is automatically accessed by the subclass. So I will show the dimension also. Here I am going to put super. So super is a keyword. Super keyword used to access the base class constructor. In this point, base class this is an empty argument constructor. So yeah, it is an empty argument constructor. So it is going to access the base class empty argument constructor. Okay, now I'm going to copy the code and run it. So what I'm changing, I'm going to change the method get data method, change it to the constructor student constructor. Here also I'm going to change the constructor name as mark. Okay, now I'm going to copy the code and run this code. Okay, yes. So I know you know what is constructor. Constructor is a special member function. Here the empty arguments are there. Here there is an empty argument. So this empty argument constructor is going to call the mark constructor. So where is this going to call? Here this is going to call. This is going to call. After that the super is going to call. The super keyword is must present in the starting of the method definition or function definition. Okay. Okay. Yes. So now I'm going to copy the code. I'm going to copy the code. Wait a minute and run it in the compiler. Okay. Yes. Okay. Control C. So I'm going to share this to you. Yes. So I'm going to copy the online compiler, share it. Okay. So what is my changes? So I change this method instead of constructor. Okay. Yes. Now I'm going to run this code. Sorry. Here I put get mark. It is not needed, isn't it? No, it is not needed. Yes, again there is a problem. Yes, so enter 101. Not one. Okay, 101. Arun, enter the 2 mark, 67 space 78. Okay, yes. So this is also displaying the values. This is here we are going to use constructor. So how the constructor is going to call? Super open bracket close bracket. Here there is an empty argument constructor. So there is no need of calling the empty argument constructor in the subclass. It is automatically executed. So I am going to make a comment on it. I am not go. Please not go to compiler. Okay. Super. I command it now. I am commanded it now. So now I go to run once again. Okay. So there is no need of calling empty argument constructor in the subclass. It is automatically enabled. Okay, now I'm going to give the value 101 Arun. Okay, yes. The 2 marks 56, 98, 89. Sorry, 89. So this is output from. Yes, how it is. So there is a general rule. So there is no need to calling the empty argument constructor to the subclass. It is automatically enabled, inbuilt. It is an inbuilt. Okay, yes. So this is a demonstration of super keyword using constructor. Okay, yes. So now I go for an suppose it's a parameter constructor means you have to put the parameter. Okay, that is also in the first line of the code. Yeah, suppose so a base class constructor having a parameter means that should be mentioned. So that should be used in the subclass. Okay, you have to mention the super keyword to getting the base class parameterized constructors. If it is an empty argument constructor means there is no need of calling that one. Okay, so shall I move to the notepad to demonstrate the same? Yes. So, yes. So what I'm saying? So here this is an empty argument constructor, isn't it? Here it is an empty argument constructor, so that there is no need of calling. Okay, okay, but it is an argument constructor. It is an argument. Suppose we are going to pass the value. We are going to pass the value from the main function. Means what we're going to do. So I'm going to copy these things. Okay, I'm going to copy these things for namesake. Okay, I'm going to put. I'm going to cut it. Okay. I'm going to supply the value to the main function so that I'm going to get the value from the keyboard here. Okay, so scanner. So I'm going to declare int r. I'm going to put the instead of roll number I'm going to put r, then string stu name. Okay, so I'm going to change the values. Okay, so I'm going to use scanner to getting the value from the keyboard. After that I'm going to pass the value. After that I'm going to pass the value to the student class. Okay, yes. Okay, if what can I do now? So I'm going to create an object for student class. student student s1 equal to new student student open bracket. So what is my argument? R comma stu name. R comma stu name. These are only two arguments. Okay, yes, stu name. So these are the two arguments. Just going to separate that. Okay, after that we're going to create an empty argument constructor stu. Oh, sorry, mark empty argument constructor. So these are all the same thing. We leave it. Don't worry. So I'm going to comment it also. So this is not needed. This get mark is not needed. So what is my parameters constructor? So I'm going to change the code here. So what is my value? int r1, some other variable, some other formal argument, then string string n. So two values are separate here. So this is going to assign to name and roll number, isn't it? This is going to assign to name and roll number. Okay, yes. Roll number equal to what? What is the formal parameter? R1. Name equal to n semicolon. I'm going to separate two arguments. Okay, here I'm going to put what? I'm going to supply values. Here I'm going to supply values. So mark is empty argument constructor. This is going to call. This is going to call accessing the base class constructor. So here you have to put super super. Okay, super keyword with arguments. Super keyword with arguments means we have to supply the same argument. Otherwise, we can create an argument for here also you can put the argument. Okay, instead of putting s1 you can put a r comma s comma stu name. So there is no need of this one. No, there is no need of this one. You want it? Later on we will check it. Okay, later on we have to check it. So student or so this will be going to call. This will be going to call. What is this value? ent. I'm going to use same parameter here, but there are two different classes. There is no problem for getting this one. Okay, r1 comma n, r1 comma n. Okay, what you are getting here? What you are getting here? That is going to supply there. That is going to supply there. What you are getting here? That is going to supply there. Okay, so here I'm going to comment it. So after running this program, we will going to correct. Yes, how the arguments are passed. So what are you going to give? So student. So in a student is called here r1 comma n1. You are passing the value to here. After this is going to consumed by this two argument constructor. This is two argument constructor. You have to specify it. It is an empty argument constructor machine. There is no need of specifying it. There is no need of mentioning initial. Initial. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I try to run this one. I try to run this one. Yes, I think everything is correct. If there is any error, we will correct it in the coding. Okay. Yes. So I'm going to copy this content. I'm going to share the content to you. Okay. Yes. So I may have an error. So I will correct it. Okay. If there is any error. Yes, on dot display mark cannot find symbol. Yes, 1 1. Okay. Yes, 1 1. Okay. Yes. Error main method. Again, same problem. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yes, enter the roll number 101. Arun. Arun. 2 marks. 78. 79. Okay, these two are displayed. Exactly correct. Okay, exactly correct. So what we did? So we are going to supply this one. So there is no need of this. Okay. So mark one r comma student. We are getting two arguments. These two arguments are supplied to where? These two arguments are supplied to here. Okay. Here this is again given to the super constructor. Super two argument constructor. And this constructor going to call this constructor. The values are assigned. Okay. After that, it is going to get the value from the keyboard for mark. Then you are calling disp mark. It is going to call the disp data. There is nothing but name and roll number. Then it is going to get the mark from the display the mark, which is get from the keyboard. So this is the best example for two argument constructor. How to access the argumented constructor to the subclass. Understand? Yes, so you understand this one. What is this? Yes, okay, this one. So there is no need of this one. Okay, there is no need of this one. This is enough. Okay, okay. If you're supplying this means it goes to the base class, not to the subclass. Okay, yes. I think you are able to understand this concept. Next, I go to one demonstration here. Here itself, what is my demonstration is how to access the instance variable to the subclass. How to access the instance variable to the subclass. So here I am going to access the instance variable. Okay, so I am going to cut it this one. Okay, after that I am going to use this this two statement. Where is the two statement? Of displaying the data here. Displaying the data here. I am going to display the data there only. Where in the mark class. In the mark class, I am going to cut this one, and paste here. Also, I am going to add a keyword super, super in front of this name, and also super on this one. So what is this? Super is a keyword. It's going to access the instance variable of the base class. Instance variable of the base class. So I'm going to remove these things. So this is not needed now. Okay. Yes. Because I'm going to directly printing the content. Okay. So my base class having only one constructor, which is going to get the value from the keyboard, which is the value is also supplied by the subclass object. Okay, yes, so understand. So I'm going to remove it. I'm going to use this keyword. I'm going to use this keyword, sorry, super keyword for accessing the instance variable of the base class. Okay, so this keyword is used to accessing the current object. Yes, current value of the current object of the same class. This is super is super class. Okay, so I'm going to run the code. Enter the roll number 101 room. Okay, then to mark. Okay, 78 89. Okay, yes, it's going to display. It is going to display. Understand? So by means of this keyword, I can access the base class instance variable. So the super keyword going to access its immediate superclass. Okay, not superclass. Instance variable or constructor or method. Okay, students, I think you are able to understand the super keyword in the inheritance. Okay, thank you for your patient listening. Thank you all. Thank you.